An oldie but a goldie. Everyone, this is Pharaoh. Also Cleopatra the expansion, which I've never touched in my life. This is a game from my childhood. Back eons ago when I was a young boy and I used to play the video games on my father's computer, which I think was a Windows 98. So, you know, quite a long time ago. This was one of them. And unusually for this channel, this is a strategy game, a real-time strategy game, and it's a city builder. But don't let that dissuade you, because it's really, really good, and it's an interesting one. So, without further ado, let's just jump in. Alright, so first things first, we're Pharaoh, we've got to have a family. We've got to have a family name. And don't just ignore this, this is just something I made as a test. Right, so family name. Well, it's just gotta be Osiris. I've spelled that wrong. Ospsyris. Of course! Come on! Alright. Osiris. The great and dynastic peoples of Osiris. I suppose technically I should have gotten rid of the first S, but fuck it. Osiris. This is us. Begin family history. So, little word of warning. This is an old game, as I said, and as you can tell from this font here with the weird side letterboxing, it's designed for a 4x3 monitor, and I've implemented a HD upscaling. This was the game I mentioned in that Prince of Persia, if you're wondering. It means that it's scaled up to 720p. 1080 is just too far zoomed out and it's hard to see the detail. So this is 720 technically, although the videos will be going up 1080 so you can watch that. But basically it means that some of these sort of like these menu screens like this are gonna look a little out of place and strange, and I'm afraid that's something I can't avoid. It's just the burdens of being an old game at this point, really. Right, so should we just begin at the beginning? I think that's always wise, isn't it? So this is sort of like tutorialized, this sort of area here, this sort of part of the game, and we'll go through the various stages, sort of learning new techniques and new things, and it gradually gets harder as we go along. So this is a good way for me to jump back in after a long time since I've played it.
It is said that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step.
Yes.
So may the story
Well, that's what I
of
just
a great
said.
nation begin with one dream. The Red Land has given birth.
Look at
to
these
such a
these
dream.
these 1999
Lands of
era
romance
graphics.
carry it in their heart. Across
God,
the
the CG.
immeasurable deserts
It's so real,
to the land.
so vivid. You just place yourself in there. You're one of those men or women or children leading one of the donkeys. Oh God, what's happened to my screen? Okay, here we go. Yeah, that was one of the hiccups, as you can imagine, that are gonna happen fairly often through this, I expect, when we transition, particularly from cutscene. Because the weird way this game works is that the game and the cutscenes, or cinematics technically, because there is a difference, are mutually exclusive. So like it basically like exits out of the game to then play the cinematic, and then it puts you back in the game. And as you can imagine, for full screening a game, that kind of fucks with it. Anyway, so our first objective, there was a voiceover, but he's cut out, unfortunately. We've lost him, he's gone. Swept away by the Nile. So we've got to construct 6 meager shanties and create an area of housing and watch immigrants arrive. Alright, to the city! Housing and roads. First thing this village will need are housing to provide settlers with a suitable place to live. Alright, I know this, so we don't really need to read this. It's self-explanatory. Welcome to Pharaoh. And yep, it's an oldie. You can tell. This is it. This is the game, and it's quite a small area we've got here, because, you know, we're starting off quite small scale. This is early days yet. And it is January 3500 BC. So, gentlemen and ladies, we're a long time in the past. So, as you can see, like any sort of classic sort of Sierra city builder, you build roads and you place plots for building houses. So, let's just sort of get a neighborhood going, shall we? Sort of along here, I think. I like to do asymmetrical roads. I'm not really going to do anything sort of symmetrical, because I find it just takes too much time and it gets too complicated too easily. So we can just click and drag to create some housing spots like this. And then eventually some goons are going to show up and they're going to be looking for a house. Here they are. Here they come. Look at them. Look at them running for it. Got their kids. Jeremy and Eliza. Those aren't really Egyptian names, are they? Ptolemy. Ptolemy and Ptolemy Jr. They're all called Ptolemy and, I don't know, Cleopatra. There, I said it. Okay, so we got some people that moved in, but they're going to need stuff. So if we click over here, we can create a well in the, I think this is sanitation tab. And this is a bog standard, very cheap as chips well. It's cost us, I don't actually know what DB stands for. We've got 1,951 of it. What does it stand for? It's not doubloons, but I'm going to call it doubloons for the moment. Doubloons? Ooh, okay. A growing population needs a reliable source of food and some means of storing and distributing it. Certain animals, like the ostriches in this region, can be hunted for game. Granary stores game and other foods, while bazaars distribute the food to the village's inhabitants. Alright, so it's a very sort of demand and supply sort of game. You have villagers and they want stuff, so you get it for them. So if we let's build a road so it's like isolated out here. Out here in the fields, I literally fight for my meals. Or hunt them. So this is an employer, this guy running around here, and he's gonna go, well, pathing along any path he can until he finds people in the housing district to actually work at this place. And as you can see, it's now got someone there who is, I guess, practicing his archery. Oh, the fucking music in this game, it so makes it! Oh man, I've missed this game. Oh, listen to it. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Oh, it's so good. Alright, so now that you can see they're gathering this game meat here, we can store it in a granary, like so. I think we can construct, oh, no, that's the control panel, yep. So, this is storage and distribution. Is this sanitation? Health and sanitation. Okay, so, oh, Nilometer. Prediction. Priests predict that this year the city will be blessed with a perfect inundation in the coming year. This is actually a mechanic that's yet to be introduced to us. It's something to do with flooding and the Nile and such, but we've yet to sort of establish that yet. Baby steps, you know. Okay, so the next chain in this distribution chain, I guess, is the bazaar. How bizarre. Which we plonk down there. Again, someone is going to come out. Here he is, and he's running in completely the wrong direction again. And he's going to try and find someone to work at this place. Again. Gonna get some more people in. Some more goons, there we go. More loyal subjects of the Ospsyris dynasty. It does seem a little bit blasphemous, doesn't it? Calling yourself Osiris. Because Osiris was a god of the Nile, in fact. I think he was the head honcho, or one of them. The Egyptian dynasty is extremely complicated, as most of them are, so citation needed on that. Lovely cup of tea. Clean water. You've managed to establish this village's supply with granary and food. Village's granary with food. Now the villagers need access to clean water from a water supply, which is the much preferred over well water. Okay, so in the game normally... Uh-oh. A fire has broken out in the village. Oh shit, look, you can see it. It's gone. A hunting lodge. Oh shit, we're gonna have to... Yep. Oh god, okay. Fire is spreading. So if we go to municipal structures, firehouse. Oh god, everything is burning. Oh god, everything's on fire. Alright. Okay, yeah, I get it. Everything's dying. Everything is dying. Jesus, talk about introducing this mechanic just in the nick of time. Let's place one there. So we've got two here, and a lot of this game centers around... oops, that's another menu, or overlay. Yeah, I get it. Everything's burning. You may notice, and this is possibly one of the coolest factors about this game, just sort of clearing some rubble here with this clear land thing, is that the houses, as you build more and more amenities for your population. So far we've got water, and we've got a hunting lodge providing food. As you provide more of these amenities, the houses will upgrade and more people will move in, and a higher class of citizenship will move in. Or citizenry. Citizen, I guess. So as you can see at the moment, they're slightly different. So these are like, these are sturdy huts. This house cannot evolve as it needs a supply of food from a local bazaar. So we haven't got enough food for everyone just yet. So these guys are sort of bringing the ostrich back. God, just everything's go! Anyway, as I was saying before, everything caught fire and the world burnt down. In the game, normally you don't really construct these things. These things are crap, no one likes them, and later stages of houses will refuse to evolve until they have one of these, a water supply. And basically, the difference is that this thing, small well, they have to go and get the water themselves. This thing has an employed character who is here. You can see him going up the road there. And he goes around the roads and... Oh, we've won! And he basically distributes water to people. But there we go. Victory conditions met. We have got a stable population of 173 bozos. Fantastic. And there we go with the the one-sided letterbox. That is strange. I don't really know if we protected them. We more or less just endured. Anyway, that's the first one. Next. What's next? So now we have to make 10 ordinary cottages, which is not a stage of citizenship that we've seen yet. And this is the dawn of civilization. Yeah, we're just going to let this guy ramble to himself. Right, golden crime. What a way to introduce a level. Mining gold. Search rocky areas for the presence of metal ore, evidenced by shiny metallic patches amongst the rocks. In order to extract the ore, you must build gold mines adjacent to the veins. So it's fairly standard stuff. I think, is there anything else there? Oh wow, okay. A palace is needed to convert the raw gold ore, as well as to store the resulting gold bullion. Okay, so again, you see supply chains. So the gold mines, they mine the gold, and then they take it to the palace, which is where we live, I guess. And then potentially some vagabonds may try and steal the gold, and you can construct these things, these police huts, which will give a constable who will run around and intercept them. Alright, so this is a new place, and it's 400 years later. Wow, so that little shitty village stood for about 400 years before everyone decided, you know what, let's move, we're going somewhere else. And I believe we are now the second in our dynasty. Can we see our messages? Where's messages? Ah, here we go. Nope, doesn't say who it's to. Usually if you get a message it will say like who it's to. So like last time we were getting messages to Ospsyris the First of his name. There's a lot of gold over here. Alright, so you sort of want to build buildings adjacent, so, you know, they can't recruit people if there's no one nearby to recruit. And we've got some ostriches down here to food. So you sort of have to line up where there's good land for, like, building, and then with the amenities that you need. So food, gold, and space. Right. So we're going to sort of construct in this sort of area. Also, water, obviously, is quite key. You also need it to connect to the main road, I think, to get people to move in, but I'm not certain about that one yet. Right, where do we want to build? Do we want to build up here, or do we want to build down here? Let's build down here, this looks good. Oh, the music! That fucking music! Ugh! Great, love it. Takes me back, it does. Oh, takes me back all those years when I was a young little whippersnapper. Wow, okay. Story time. So, when I was playing this, my father had a job as like, I don't know what you call it, like, it wasn't community manager, it was like land's not the right word, what is it? Property manager or something for what is effectively like an old venerable mansion that had been open to the public, and he was sort of like the ground. I was about to say the groundsman, but it was more than that. It was more of a managerial role. Anyway, he worked there, and it was away from like where we lived. So as a result, he was given like a whole wing inside this massive like mansion. to basically live in, that had like a kitchen and a massive lounge with like a ceiling that was like 3 times higher than like your bog standard ceiling. It was massive, and bedrooms and such. And we went there and stayed with him like over the Christmas periods, which, as you can imagine, was fucking amazing. Staying in like you know, a mansion for Christmas with like it was one of those houses that. One of those old venerable houses that had loads and loads of land, and it would snow, and we brought our cats along. Fucking cats loved it. Actually, I think at the time we only had 1 cat, and she loved it. The rabbits, they didn't love it so much. They had a rabbit problem, which our cat saw to fairly handily. Can we put a water supply here? Yeah, we can. Alright, great. So that should be able to supply over here. Anyway, going back to what I was saying. Yeah, and we would visit him during the time when he was working up there occasionally, like, as I said, the Christmas period. And I can remember, of course, he took his computer with him, and during like Christmas, I'd be playing this, like, in one of the rooms of this wing of this massive house. Do you know what? The thing is in all the time I stayed there, I never really saw much of the rest of the house, just thinking about it, because it was so big. But yeah, it was a strange but also pretty cool time. A great time to be alive. So we're just sort of building what we effectively had last time. We're going to need a granary. I'd like a place to put it. Also, you want to stop this guy doing this. You see this is the water guy, and he's going over here, and obviously no one's over there. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut him off, and he turns around. Does anyone taking this road? No, because you don't want to cut them off too soon, otherwise they'll get stuck. So that guy's making his way back, so we can delete the road as he goes. There we go. And I'm going to put a granary... Put it here? Or here? I think I actually kind of want to put it over here. Well, you see, I can't put it too far away from here, otherwise it becomes hard for it to actually manage the food. I'll tell you what. Let's put it here, because this is sort of an area that I'm not really going to be able to build on for like housing, because there's not really much water. If we put a granary, say there, yeah, and build a bazaar to distribute the food, we'll put that there, sort of central. Build some more houses, why not? You'll notice I'm building them in clusters of 4, and the reason for that is because eventually they will conjoin like these. And the very later stages of housing you can build will only upgrade. Basically, towards the end of their upgrading cycle of like the different types of houses they can become, they become bigger and bigger and bigger as a single entity. And you end up with houses that are like 9 big, and it's a game in which you can kind of fuck yourself over with your city structure, and you'll have to do a lot of restructuring, but you know, that's part of the course, and it's kind of cool all the same. So I'm just going to continue sort of constructing roads here, sort of building avenues and housing districts, I guess, like that. Okay, so we've sort of got a stable population, and we're getting food now, which is good. We need amenities, of course. Don't forget that. So again, you sort of want to place them in tactical positions, not too close to one another. Police station, there we go. Let's get one there, and another one there. Oh, and there's a fire. Well, that was predictable. We'll just wait until it dies down, because if we place it right now, it's going to catch instantly. And you know what? Let's just place it where it was. For the sake of keeping it even. Alright, cool. So, you may notice before I accidentally pressed the button and did this. This shows the structural integrity of the buildings, which relates to the architect's post, who is basically like responsible for making sure the buildings don't collapse on themselves. So if we place one there, and it will distribute eventually when this guy's hired someone. You see the flag means it's hired. An architect, which is this guy.
So many places in poor condition, I can barely keep up.
And yeah, the citizens have stuff to say. So he'll go around and he will lower the bar. You see it's gone down now whenever he goes past the building. And it's the same thing with fire, which I think is this one. Yeah, there you go. So this building's kind of catching on. Well, it's a bit of a fire hazard because it's not been seen to in a while. So if we do that, we add another connection for... Oh, for fuck's sake! Fuck everything! Ah! I was literally just saying it.